Yeah. What's up, guys and gals? Happy Thursday, ain't it? It's like we're starting the week. You know, when you go back to school and they start like on a Thursday. And Thursday and Friday, you get the hellos, how are yous, this is school, weekend. That's what I feel like. We're back to school. But it starts on a Thursday. So, what up, guys? How was your break, man? I missed you guys. I hope you guys had a good break from the NBA. Although I will say, I was on fire before the NBA All-Star break, man. So I'm hoping we continue that magic, because that was a really, really profitable closeout in the final days before the All-Star break. What you guys do during the break? Around here, we just chilled for a little bit, played a whole lot of video games, did a little bit of wrestling, and what else did we do? I don't even know. That was basically it. We just recharged. I only get about 2 breaks a year. The NBA All-Star break and the MLB All-Star break, which I gotta say, man, as far as All-Star games, baseball's on a whole different planet than what we saw the NBA put out, and NFL is literally flag football. But I saw a lot of you guys switching over to hockey, playing some XFL. We had some NASCAR, so the D-Gens weren't completely stuck out like they will be during the baseball All-Star break. Then it gets really rough. But shout out to the live chat. Shout out to Conscious, Squeak Diesel, Steve in the chat. I hope you're doing all right. Dang Lazy Mofo, Beast Bets, Crispy. What up, Crispy? What up, Corey? Helms 22. Started making NHL videos, missing the hoop. See? Can't find Josh Gordon in the player pool. I'm confused. Oh, wait. You know what's funny? I have StatMuse open, and they have a cartoon of, I believe this is Randy Moss. I was like, wait, he could see. I thought that was Josh Gordon, but yeah, I'm not sharing the screen right now. So yeah. What up, Rob? I did a PGA Snake for the first time. Got a dub on the road to Impact. Yo, what up, Shady? Shout out to Shady. Safe travels. Impact in Vegas. Nice. 10th, like, what up, Kurt? Blazers game might get canceled. Yeah, I saw that their plane got stuck. And then I also see they play the Clippers tomorrow. So, I don't know what the situation is there. It is the last game on the slate. Hopefully that news would come out. I haven't seen like a reputable news organization report that, right? Like, I haven't seen a Woj tweet lately. Oh no, it just came out. Blazers still haven't left Portland due to weather issues. Okay, so that's dangerous. Hoping to depart within the hour. We'll update, but some postponement risk for Thursday. All right. I gotta imagine if the plane leaves the ground, Portland to Sacramento via plane, can't be that bad. And then, like I said, you know, with their time difference, I don't know. But it is certainly something to watch going into the stretch. By the way, when we went off the air last show, let's see if I can find it. We did a whole lot of Twitch. Mamba. We'll give him the replay, but shout out to Mamba. This happened literally right where we went off the air. $50.
Mamba super chatted $50.
$50 super chat. So shout out to Mamba for that. Yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't live when he shot that through. So appreciate it. Shady in the chat. Cash in XFL this week, so I'm okay with that. Did the prize pools just like completely drop dramatically? I know it was like 100K to first. Successful defense of the bell, yeah. Actually, I don't even know where my belt's. I think I let my nephew play with it. I don't know where it's at. Back knees. What up, Jake? Yeah, we back, baby. We back. So what do we got? We got like a 10-game slate tonight. If everything, knock on wood, goes the way it should. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 and a 9-game slate. Could become an 8-game slate if the Sacramento stuff or the Portland stuff falls the wrong way. And there is 3 hours between first tip and last tip. So we're back. So we should open up some screens here. If the music is too loud or too low, let me know. And we'll see if we still got it, right? We'll get the rust off. I'll get the rust off the analysis part. You guys get the rust off from clicking the thumbs up. And we will all be some rustless individuals in another 90 minutes, right? We have baseball this weekend. Spring training, man. We probably don't get many marquee names over the weekend. But just hearing the crack of the bat. And then we'll have World Baseball Classic, bro. I'm excited. This is a beautiful time of year. I'm ready. That recharge was nice, and we out here, and we're gonna have some fun. And when baseball comes back, we're probably gonna do some crazy hours clocked in on the YouTube channel when it comes to streaming. I can only anticipate. Jeez, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, but it's gonna be beautiful too at the same time, right? What do you think about the Thunder versus Jazz game? We'll dive into every game here in a minute. We have everything typed up in the rundfs.com VIP spreadsheet. So we'll go game by game here, and then we'll catch up on all the news. Let's go to the 3 p.m. underdog news to watch, right? So LeBron James probable, Anthony Davis probable, OG Anunoby expected to play, and Jeremy Sohan questionable. So that was the major news of the day. I have two noties. Is it the GOATs retweeting my tweet? Because that's GOAT-like stuff. Also, I do want to make note that today our buddies at No House Advantage have a very special discount for Ja Morant. They listed him at half a point. So kind of like the taco promotions or some of these sites that give you those super discount opportunities. If you want to take advantage of that, do that. If you haven't played on No House Advantage, you should. And I know a lot of the content that I've done in the past between here and Stochastic has been around the Pick'em contest, but I've been dabbling in the versus the house stuff, and I will say this, like, they don't offer as much as PrizePicks does in terms of what to select, but right before lock, I usually get into a couple of things that I like. I've been doing a lot of like same game-ish parlay type stuff when I'm building some cards here, and the week before the All-Star break, I think we racked up $2,000, and it all cashed out. So if you're worried about payment or anything like that, they cashed out for me. It's all legit, all in the up and up, and what was it, 21x? I think it was like 21x. So I think I might have got limited, but I got we hit $1,000 5 pick, and then we hit a couple $500 5 picks. So I'd like No House Advantage, and I've been taking a lot of under. So just like I say with PrizePicks versus Underdog, I think you should add No House Advantage to your repertoire of sites. I use Underdog, PrizePicks, No House. I have Thrive open as well. And if we're building out several slips, just like sports betting, you want to kind of shop the best lines. And sometimes you're going to see some discrepancies between the different sites, usually by a couple points, but a couple points is value, right? So definitely add them to your repertoire if you haven't. With all of these sites, we have deals, affiliate partnerships where they use code GUNDACKER when you sign up. They'll double your first deposit up to $100, right? So that's free instant site credit. Get into the action, and yeah, all right. Oh, we have to delete these old lanes, right? All right, cool. Boom. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here, and let's just start getting to work. Like Baji, good value play. You think so? Maybe. All right, Denver Nuggets at the Cleveland Cavaliers. Project starting 5 for the Nuggets: Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Vlatko Kankar, Nikola Jokic taking on Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Isaac Okoro, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. 2-2-2, and another 1-2 is our total with a 2.5 point spread in favor of the home team Cleveland Cavaliers. We have Aaron Gordon listed as out, and we got Jamal Murray with a tag on him. I think he's closer to in now that has had some rest, but he has missed a couple games before the break. Officially questionable, I guess. Right knee inflammation, officially questionable. While Murray himself said on Tuesday that he'll be playing, the Nuggets have officially listed him as questionable. His return after missing Denver's last 6 games would drop Bruce Brown into his usual reserve role. Blah 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 blah. All right, so that's from NBA. What is that? Or NBC Sports Edge? Yeah, NBC Sports Edge. So shout out to them for that info. Cavs have been a really strong team, and Denver has been really, really lacking on the road. And we've kind of talked about this in passing this year. Nuggets record on the road this season, 14-14. So they're at 500 versus at home. I think they're like the best home team, 27-4. Yeah, so they have been less efficient on the road, and now they're facing a Cavs team that is going to dramatically reduce the team pace. They run one of the slowest paces in all of basketball, and they double that down with one of the best defenses. So slowest pace rating and best defensive rating. So this is a tough spot for the Nuggets to come in and try to put up some points, and Jokic is going to cost you almost $12K of your DraftKings salary, $100 less than Luka. Luka gets a much more tasty matchup, but he is a 14-point favorite, and they've recently inserted Kyrie. So you're kind of dealing with what to do with Jokic here in terms of the slate, because the lower implied possessions. However, tight spread, you kind of need him to do a little bit more. I think I'm leaning towards not being that ecstatic towards playing Jokic here, but in his last outing against Cleveland, he did go 35 minutes, almost 70 fantasy points, and was able to rack up a triple-double. So I think the raw projection is going to list Jokic as one of the top four. So he's actually behind Embiid, Lillard, and Luka, way behind Luka in the algorithm. So I guess we'll take that for what it's worth. I would be interested in seeing. Let's go look at that game. Was that a Allen and Mobley game? Nikola Jokic DKP by game log versus Cavaliers last 5 games. I think, is Derek White headed to stardom? 6,800 on DK is fair if you get 45 with Smart out. Maybe, but remember that the 8K Derek White game came without Jaylen Brown and Tatum, and there was a stretch with Smart out, but Smart's fully back, I thought. So I think Derek White was just a usage flash in the pan for a week. I don't think he's going to be anything crazy. He had stretches like this in San Antonio too. So I like him, but I wouldn't get too crazy with it. So that game was in January, 35 minutes, 28. That was in Denver, and they had Allen and Mobley. So no Donovan Mitchell that game. So I guess if we take in the road splits here, if we want to, yeah, I'm willing to be like underwhelmed by the options and the salaries here. Jamal Murray on FanDuel, maybe a little bit more intriguing at 8,400, especially if we funnel a little bit more potential his way. It should be noted that Aaron Gordon is out, so maybe we pick up the slack on scoring with Jokic, MPJ, and Jamal Murray. Let's see official numbers, actionable percentages. Yeah, I like Derek White for what he is, but I don't think he's like a superstar or anything like that. I just think he just had an incredible spike in usage, and that one game in particular they went to overtime. So it just was what it was. But I like him. I just don't think like he's a superstar. Jamal Murray birthday, let's go. I had a birthday over the weekend. Had some bomb cheesecake. $1.25 fantasy points per minute for Jamal Murray. 25.7% usage rate. MPJ 0.9. Not as high as maybe you would think it would be at 22% usage, but it's there. KCP similar to MPJ. Now there's no sample size on the minutes here either. And then Jokic 1.5 fantasy point per minute. Is what it is. He has a 51% assist rate in this split. So I guess in the interest of prop shopping, if I wanted to get into some Jokic stuff today, first of all, let me see if there's been movement downward on Jokic PRA, because I could see the market, being pessimistic about this matchup against a rested Cavs team. But I do think if I wanted to target something for Jokic and just sweat overs because they're more fun, it might be assist. 45.5, so Some spots we've seen 46.5. Is this points bet still has them at 46.5? FanDuel still has them at 46.5. So the market is moving the line down. Let's see if PrizePicks is also at 45. PRA. No, they're 44.5. Wait, they're at 44.5. So they've gone down, right? So some spots it's 46.5. PrizePicks is all the way down at 44.5. So yeah, market's kind of privy to the Cavs being strong here. And then I guess there's a Thomas Bryant effect here, right? Thomas Bryant is not DeAndre Jordan, so you can feel a little bit better about putting him out there. But okay, what about assists? Assists for Jokic. By the way, we're using the Odd Shopper free. What is this player comparison tool? If you guys ever wanted to bring up this is completely free. Jokic 9.5. So that's also getting juiced down. So we might actually get Jokic at 9 or 8.5 assists as well. So yeah, a lot of bettors are all the way down there. It's at 9 already on PrizePicks. So in limited sample size, he has like half of the possessions ended in assists for him. But 50 minutes is not enough. So if that keeps going down, right? If it gets down to like 8.5, 9, or stays at 9, I might even be interested in that. But I do think a 9-game slate, we could be a little bit more selective with what we're putting in the list. So I'm not going to put any of that in. I guess if we were to lean on Jamal Murray to pick up some slack and alleviate any doubts on how many minutes he might play, 22.5 is reasonable. But again, I think ultimately we're just not going to have warm and fuzzies picking on a rusted Cavs defense, right? The week NBA paid me out in NHL, NASCAR, PGA. $600 on the truck race. Let's go. Isn't it fun to win money on sports that you don't really take that serious? But it's dangerous too. I remember last All-Star break last year, 22.5 got steamed, or 21.5 got moved up to 22.5 some spots. So last All-Star break for my birthday, I remember I was at a hotel. I was chilling in a pool and I was bored. Like I wanted to sweat something, bro. When I say I burned $2,000 on CS:GO props on like PrizePicks, and lost. Like I was like, yeah, maybe next year I won't be this bored and I blow this type of money. Like I should have been a little bit more responsible. But the All-Star break gets you to try some new sports, I guess, right? But it is like I also like being a consumer to content of sports that I don't have to, like, I do NBA, football, baseball, but like subbing to like a CS:GO content or NASCAR content or something like that, and then just using those projections and letting somebody else do the thinking for me, that feels good from time to time. What up, Robert? Have you seen that one commercial with Kevin Hart saying "you're"? It's not. I mean, I know I say "you're," but it's a New York thing. It's not a gun thing. What up, Brooklyn? I hope you're doing all right. All right, Cavs side. So from a DFS standpoint, Jokic is always in play. Right now, he's top 4 in raw projections. Damian Lillard, if that situation snowballed into something, it's gonna be a little harder to get away from that raw projection on a bigger slate with value that tends to open up on these type of slates. Jamal Murray on FanDuel, I think I can get behind. The same thing with Michael Porter's 6.6K price point on FanDuel, 6K on DraftKings, 30 plus fantasy points. Seems like it's well within the range of outcomes. The Cavs are priced to a spot where I'm most interested in Darius Garland to push me at 40 fantasy points. Donovan Mitchell's priced over 9K, so on a slate like this, I would really, really want to get to that 50-plus fantasy point threshold. That's about the projection that we're getting. Makes sense. Rubio listed as out. And then the front court, Kevin Love no longer in the Cavs roster. So Mobley and Jared Allen, I think they're priced appropriately. I think the Jared Allen price point on DraftKings at least gives me a little bit more hope to pay off $1,200 discrepancy between his DraftKings price point and his FanDuel price point. I'm looking for 30 plus. If he gets it, he gets it. Center seems like it's a ceiling position today. It doesn't seem like a super optimal spot for Allen to go out there and kill it. But I guess the Nuggets, how are they in points in the paint? Because I feel like the Nuggets, I might be overestimating the spot. It's one of those spots where I hate picking on Jokic with physical centers, and then maybe suffering in foul trouble or anything like that. But points in the paint allowed, Denver Nuggets are allowing a top 6 amount of fantasy points in the paint. So maybe it's a better spot for Jared Allen than I thought, and that makes that 6.6K price point seem even better. So those are guys that stand out, but I think ultimately it's fair to be pretty pessimistic or pretty light on this game overall. What up, Kevin? Been playing too much hockey the last few days. I feel. Oh, hockey, yeah. So I didn't get to play hockey during this All-Star break. But maybe last year or the year before, that was another one where I could just use the stochastic projections, the boom bust tool, and the stacking features on Fantasy Cruncher. No idea what I'm doing, but I made money. So it is nice. It is nice to make money off of not having to think. What up, King of all trades? Losing 2K counters your NBA wins for taxes. Yeah. It worked out. It was whatever. We were on a heater back then. Baseball so soon. There's your sweet spot sport. Yeah. I'm good at NBA too. Baseball, I just love baseball. It's my passion. Celtics at the Pacers. Next game on the docket. Projects 35 for the Celtics. Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford, the Time Lord, Robert Williams taking on Tyrese Halliburton, TJ McConnell, Buddy Hield, Aaron Naismith, Miles Turner. A 232 total, 8.5 points spread in favor of the visiting Boston Celtics. Celtics seem really hard to get to individually at these price points, at least on DraftKings. I think FanDuel's a little bit more lenient, 8,500 for Jaylen Brown, just under 11K for Jason Tatum. It's a pace-up spot, porous defense in the Pacers. We are wrestling with a 8.5 point spread. That door's always open against the Pacers to blow out. So I think normal approach here for me on the Celtics is I probably get the Brown and Tatum. I probably don't have too much overlap between them, especially on DraftKings. Maybe FanDuel, there's a little bit more success or what's the word I'm looking for? Coincidation. That's not a word. That can't be a word. I don't know. Maybe there's a little less room for needing both guys to hit max ceiling like there is on DraftKings, but the individual projections look pretty well. And then Robert Williams in that front court. There was that weird game where he came off the bench, played 15 minutes against the Bucks, and the coach was being real squirrely with what his plan was with him. But a couple weeks ago, they said Robert Williams was completely unrestricted. So I think unrestricted Robert Williams, 32 minutes, 30 minutes. This guy has 8K potential with, double-double with blocks, all kinds of good stuff. So I think 6.2K Robert Williams on DraftKings makes the player pool for me. FanDuel, especially with his block potential against a high shot volume guy like Miles Turner, makes a lot of sense to be interested in a couple of these Celtics pieces. I would say I probably want to max 2 in a lineup because I could see some overlap between Williams and Brown and Tatum, guys like that getting there for me. And then maybe there's some life on Marcus Smart or meat on the bone at that price point. But between him, Derek White, Malcolm Brogdon, that's a saturated backcourt. So I don't want to get too invested, but it is such a good spot for the Celtics individually against that fast-paced Pacers team. On the Pacers side, 8,600 for Halliburton has some meat on the bone. TJ McConnell was in the starting lineup on the other side of the All-Star break, which wasn't normal. We'll see if they stick with that. Obviously, it worked against the Chicago Bulls, and McConnell played 20 minutes, did not close out in that game. They closed out with Nembhard, and then in that Utah Jazz game, they did the same thing. So one of the things I do want to do some research on is, one, do we think they keep McConnell in the starting lineup, where they were just bored and seeing what they do, what happens there? Because I feel like if McConnell started, McConnell's a high assist potential guy as well, right? Does that negatively impact Halliburton's assist rate? So let's just put them on the court together, I guess, Halliburton and McConnell. Or do they go back to starting Nembhard, Miles Turner lines juiced under have been bumping down on PrizePicks and Underdog. That makes sense, yeah, with Time Lord. But the thing with Miles Turner is, and Robert Williams is an elite defender, and I'm not saying he's limited, but he's like an elite rim protector. Miles Turner can shoot threes, right? Like he'll chuck. So maybe we correlate, some of these unders, like look, 6, 5, 6. There's games where Miles Turner will chuck 9 threes. And if the game script is they're going to be down by 8 or 9, and Robert Williams is going to funnel some shots away from the paint here, maybe a correlated play would be to target 3-pointers for Miles Turner. If they even offer that, probably don't. No, they don't offer that. Okay, well, maybe if it opened up later, but like I could see them listing a center at like half or 1.5. So something to think about, but don't need to do it. I probably do that more like on an individual bet. Anyway, going back to the Haliburton and McConnell search. So Haliburton still has a 45% assist rate here with McConnell, or did that even register? No, I don't think it registered. Man, dude, I might have to find an alternate site that runs these queries because I feel like it slips through all the time. There we go. That's more like it. 40%. So 24% assist rate on McConnell, 40% for Haliburton. So still really doggone high, but Haliburton's one of those guys that can sometimes push 45, 50%. So maybe it's negative, but it's still not like super, super palpable. So we'll watch that. So when that lineup comes out, we do want to see for sure if McConnell's going to start again, because they have been starting Nembhard all year and they have other guards that they can go with here. So you don't necessarily think of McConnell as like an elite scorer. I know he's had some crazy efficiency this season, and in that game he just took 3 shot attempts, but you feel like you might want scorers on the court against a team like Boston with such a negative implied game script. So we'll see what they do here. If they go back to Nembhard, I think it's the stress for keeping the Pacers in this game is on Tyrese Haliburton, and I would imagine his assist prop starts at 9.5 and goes from there. But last slate it got juiced down to like 9, 8.5 in some spots. So we'll see. Hallie, 8.5. It is 8.5. There's juice on the under at 8.5 for Haliburton. I think that's a product of the Celtics defense, bro. That's so crazy though. This man is like 20 potential assists per game. So for this line to potentially get to 8 is just so tempting to not get some stake in it, because Haliburton's my boy. But I get it. Celtics defense really good. So still, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna dig with my heart here, but it makes sense. The guy averages 10 assists per game, and we might get it to 8 by the time that line closes. That's wild. All right, let's get caught up on chat. I worry a little bit about Time Lord. Celtics were not really clear about why they limited him so much last few games before the break. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with him, but I certainly agree with you, Steve. That Bucks game was really squirrely. The game before that wasn't that limited, right? I don't know. Like, it felt like Coach Speak being just like a random douchebag. And remember, that Bucks game was no Brown, no Tatum, no Horford, no Smart. It was essentially a punt game, and they just almost accidentally won it. But yeah, we'll see if it goes back to normal today. And with DFS, we want to be early rather than late, so it's fine to like maybe avoid him for props. Although I wonder what his did we get a fantasy score like 30? 28.5 against the Pacers, bro. Come on. And you get the block bonuses. I'm at 36. I have like an 8 to 9 point discrepancy between my projection and the PrizePicks line. But I understand the pessimism and the concern. So I'm not going to force the issue. But I would be on the over. Absolutely, I would be on the over. Oh my god, I still might take the over. Like 28.5 is such a low line. Pacers allow the 3rd most fantasy points per game to opposing centers. I'm gonna add it to the list. 28.5 is so low. Robert Williams. over 28 FPS. All right, that's a prize pick. We probably won't have much NHA to choose from this far out, but we'll see. How you feel about Jaylen Brown more than 25.5 points? So Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, you go with that feeling in your bad knee, man. If you're on it, you're on it. I tend to not go with those guys for props unless one of them is specifically out. They just both have the potential to drop, 25 to 30 a piece, or one guy can drop 35, 40 while the other one is chilling in the passenger seat. So there's just some spots where I pick and choose, and I tend to not get too invested in those guys. What up, Dez? Hope you're doing all right. 140 already, man. I appreciate that. You guys try and hit that like button, though. Nah, that like button, though. All right, let's move on to the next game. Pistons at the Magic. Project starting 5 for the Pistons. Killian Hayes, Jaden Ivey, Bojan Bogdanovic, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren taking on Markelle Fultz, Gary Harris, Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr. 228.5 total, 7-point spread for the home team, Orlando Magic. So two really, really bad teams. The Pistons offering one of the worst defensive ratings in all of basketball. A little bit healthier than they were, I guess, going into the break. They've added to the front court, and we have Marvin Bagley with a GTD tag. So Bagley could potentially be back in the mix with Wiseman. No, he's doubtful. Okay, so Wiseman. All right. I feel like this is a DFS only game. It's not much I'm thinking for props. I think the Magic rotation is so frustratingly saturated that on a 9-gamer, I wouldn't feel obligated to get there. I guess we can at least look at the board for Orlando, but I don't really see a reason why we'd be specifically on something. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not saying anything that's popping. If you guys have leans on this game from this far out, definitely throw it at me. But I think this is a DFS only spot for me. And there's a lot in this game that makes the player pool. I think a lot of stocking stuff for prices. Top to bottom, there's almost nobody in the starting lineups on either team I wouldn't have in the player pool. With probably a max of 2 guys per team in a lineup, possibly even 1. But I'd probably let the randomness account for allowing up to 2 at these prices. I mean, it's just really good spots. So Banchero and Wagner, especially Wagner on FanDuel and DraftKings being under 6K, he does have 30 plus fantasy point potential against the worst defense in basketball. Multi-position eligibility, you can put him in with 4 roster spots, and he just does a little bit of everything. So I don't mind getting to him. I could forgive a bad Raptors game. I guess he's been kind of sour through and through, but Miami's a tough defense. Knicks a slow-paced game. I think this spot's a little bit better for Wagner to maybe pop a much better game at that price point. So I don't mind getting to him. He's averaging 32 fantasy points per game in 2 outings against Detroit. Yeah, under 6K, I'll take some of that. But this is all tier 3 stocking stuffer, spin the wheel, make a deal, What up, J. Cole? Jermaine Cole. Mr. Nice Watch. Gotta hit that like button. Gun is the only DFS channel that doesn't cuss and is clean. Really? I guess so. I appreciate that though. I like the Lakers game. Just trying to figure out to be Lakers. It's my boy Brody, Russ, going to the Clippers makes so much sense. The man doesn't have to move or nothing, right? He's just chilling. All right, let's move on to the next game here. Grizzlies at the Sixers. We might be able to get more into some props for this one. Project starting 5 for the Grizzlies: Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Brandon Clark taking on James Harden, DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, PJ Tucker, and Joel Embiid. We got a 230.5 total, 3.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Philadelphia 76ers. Chat, have we been stable? I feel like I'm getting like a YouTube notey, but I think we're good. As a reminder, over on No House Advantage, there's a special Ja Morant prop at 0.5 points. So if you guys are looking for a place to start on this 9-gamer to put some cards together, you should take advantage of that. Always take advantage of these special promotions. So over on NHA, John Morant, half a real point. Brandon Clark and Xavier Tillman, these guys are interchangeable between who starts against a matchup like Joel Embiid. I'm not sure what they feel like is a better matchup. Maybe Tillman. So we'll see. Several different projection sites are listing one or the other. So it is a coin flip. I think we've seen is Tillman the guy they match up against stockier centers. Either way, Clark is the more interesting one for me at 4,500 if we're looking for some scoring, and Joel Embiid is just matchup proof. And then dealing with this front court, the Clark, the Jackson, the Tillmans, might be an interesting spot to target some maybe free throws for Joel Embiid because they're very physical, and we know Jaren Jackson Jr. will go for blocks. 230 total. I think the price point on John Morant at 10K on FanDuel, 10.8K on DraftKings, I'm looking for him to be one of the slate leaders in fantasy scoring. If we look at raw fantasy projections from earlier, John Morant gets into the conversation inside maybe the top 10. Not up there super high, but maybe that keeps his ownership down as well. And he does have a realistic range of outcome to be a top 5 fantasy scorer here. So I don't mind getting to him. The Sixers, however, one of the better teams at defending points in the paint, and we know John Morant will get about half of his points per game inside the paint. The Sixers are top 10 in fewest fantasy points in the paint allowed, so he's gonna have to drive to the rack, or he drives to the rack to get his points. What is the market at for his real point props? 24.5, 25.5 maybe. I appreciate that, Nate. Foul trouble for Clark. I think it could be foul trouble for everybody. Let me just put Morant. 26.5. Okay. Coin flipping in different spots. Yeah, I don't really have a reason to be with conviction on either side of that. I will say that's already below his season average, and it makes sense because of due to the matchup. Also, season average also includes games without Bane, without Brooks here and there. So no reason for me to have a strong conviction on higher or lower that number when I'll just take the half a point over, right? AK Desmond Bane's hard to love with warm and fuzzy. Same with Jaren Jackson Jr. Might get them at all reasonably low ownership versus their ceiling potential. And then on the Sixer side, Harden and Embiid, so you guys projecting really low. Joel Embiid, 58 fantasy points on FanDuel. There's the raw projection, and that puts him at, I think that's second most on that site. And because of the center-friendly scoring with blocks and steals. Yeah, so second to Luka. And if we look at the center player pool, there's Jokic. I think AD is power forward eligible over there. It's pretty top heavy. I think there is some good value, but it's not like a bunch of can't misses, right? So it makes sense to kind of be interested in Joel Embiid in this spot. Ooh. I think if I wanted a prop on Joel Embiid, though, I'd want to see what his free throws prop is at. We can get it like under 8.5. It's literally 8.5. Okay. Do we have free throw? We don't have free throw props. I think I would still kind of be interested in that. It's such a tight spread, and they play such a physical form of defense. But I don't know. I probably don't want to sweat that. Last time out, literally 8 of 9. But that might have been that was in 40 minutes. I was going to say that was going to be a Steven Adams game. What's the PrizePicks fantasy point projection on him? 55.5. And we have him at 58. That's too close to call. So that just exists. So we'll grab that for fantasy. And then James Harden. So Harden assist would be the most intriguing to me. Big Wheat 90. Thank you so much for the sub. 11 assists. Wow, James. Wow. Wow. That's steep. So that's probably untouchable, right? Like obviously I think it makes sense. He probably has a 40% assist rate. It's a tight game, but wow. It got moved down. So it was at 11.5. That's just like a number. I'm probably not gonna like unless you're. There's probably no point guard I would want to sweat 11 assists for him. Like, but he's up there, right? It'd be him, Halliburton, Chris Paul, guys like that. But that's such a high number that like a 9-game slate, you feel like you don't need to get there. Let's see. James Harden since January 1. You got him at 10.5. The value's been bumped out of Harden. It looks like he got bumped down. 47% assist rate. I mean, he's that guy. He was at 10.5 at one point, Kevin. That's crazy. So did he start low, went high, and then I was going backwards? Let's see. Harden. Do we have anything over here? We don't. Harden 3 is a good prop. Juice is rising. All right. Let's look into that. So it does make sense fundamentally. The Grizzlies do restrict points in the paint. Do wonder how different this number is without Steven Adams. But logistically, you know, the fewer points in the paint allowed, the more you can funnel some shots outside. And we've also seen that be true to benefiting like Tyrese Maxey. I also did want to look at the Maxey rotation. Is he closing with them and coming off the bench? That's exactly what's happening, right? Let's see, last couple games for Maxey. So I do like situations like this where a guy that doesn't start is often in the closing lineup, and we see that with like Isaiah Hartenstein. And what we can do with stuff like that is be a little bit more intrigued in like second half overs on PrizePicks. I would say maybe first half unders, but I don't know. I don't know if that's necessary for Maxey today. 17.5 total points. Intriguing. I feel like everything feels mostly efficient here. I feel like I might be trying to create something, you know? Let's get caught up on chat. What's up, Miguel? What up, Gun? Just got here. You got any PrizePicks locks so far? I really don't. The board is. I guess maybe we can't really catch them sleeping when they've had a week to prepare for the first slate, you know. But we'll try. We'll try. Aaron Campbell. How is New Orleans defense versus point guards? Gun Van Fleet. It's Van Fleet first of all. Van Fleet on FanDuel is a nice price point. So New Orleans defense against point guards from a purely fantasy perspective. New Orleans is top 5 in fewest fantasy points allowed, but they have been really, really interchangeable with their starting point guard situation. But I guess CJ McCollum has been rock steady. Des says, I like Harden here. I think he shows up in this matchup against Memphis. Plus, guards against Memphis is a thing. Is it? I don't think we need to split hairs on that. James Harden just seems like a good play, especially if you know, it's a good defense. Harden and Embiid are certainly two guys that have been notorious at turning good defense into fouls and free throws, so I don't mind that. What is Harden's free throws? I feel like they've been way lower this year. 2.5 threes. Somebody mentioned that. 5.5 free throws. So yeah, he hasn't been doing. I mean, they've made rules to specifically against that, but could be an intriguing spot for him to tap into old school Harden against a stronger defense, right? Did not play that last Memphis game. and then free throws, attempts. I would be maybe somewhat interested in that free throw prop, but you guys mentioned the 3-point prop. We'll look at that while we're here. The Harden props, a coin flip. The which one? The assist one? Yeah, I don't usually shop from the top shelf. 2.5 threes. Yeah, there's a lot of juice on the over, so there's a good chance that 2.5 becomes a 3 on PrizePicks, even 3.5. So if you are just looking for value betting opportunities, shout out to Kevin, I think brought it up. That 2.5 line on PrizePicks is likely to move to 3.5. Values on shots on goal. Gotta stop the half included in projections. It's misleading to yourself. You accumulate whole stats. That's true, but it's not true because half does matter for prop betting. There are some like books. I know there's an offshore book that'll do like 2+ threes as a line or something like that, where you just hit 2, and it's not over. You know what I mean? You just gotta hit 2. But the hook is very important in betting. All right, for DFS, we're pretty much grabbing the usual suspects here. Jaren Jackson Jr., 8.4K on FanDuel, 7.8K on DraftKings. It's one of those, you mentioned shots on goals in chat. I know there's like a strategy where you'll want a goalie that's seeing some shots on goal so he can rack up the saves. So Jaren Jackson Jr., if he can stay out of foul trouble, he's going against an offense that's going to take plenty of shots on goals, and we know he'll go for some blocks. So if he can not get in foul trouble, this could be a big block opportunity for him. So maybe something to keep in mind if you get his ownership to stay low. At 8,400, you want that, mid 40s, 50 fantasy point game for ceiling return, but just a thought. Let's move on. Pelicans at the Raptors. Project starting 5 for the Pelicans. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Herbert Jones, Jonas Valanciunas taking on Fred VanVleet, OG Anunoby, Scotty Barnes, Pascal Siakam, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Mid-pace game, good defense game. So it's gonna be a little hard to get super excited off the rip here. Efficient pricing through and through. Maybe the All-Star break, the first slate back, right? We're not dealing with a lot of rest, a lot of injuries. Maybe it's gonna be a tougher slate than I expected for 9 games. But 7,600 on Ingram, sub 8K, or excuse me, 7,800 on Ingram, 7,600 on McCollum. Those are the 2 names that stick out the most here. We'll go look at some on-off court metrics, and then if you're into revenge, I guess J-Val is a thing today, but I think we saw Larry Nance was available. So this Pelicans front court is just usually something I don't mess with for DFS, but sure. Let's put Ingram McCollum on, Zion off. Let's see if we can't find some leans on McCollum or Ingram. Ingram 1.12 fantasy point per minute on DraftKings, just under 1 for McCollum. Assist rate for Ingram was 28%. Let me bring that back to the start of the year. What the Huda? All right, a much more neutral 23% when we go back to the beginning of the year, but that's also like, maybe that's not fair to do. And then we look at the month of February and see if that's dramatically, it's just 24. So I guess just in January, you had a big facilitation month. VanVleet over 6.5 assists, looks good since Toronto's healthy with OG, Gary, and now Poeltl. Man, the Raptors, even since the beginning of last year, I don't love him for assist. On the season, VanVleet has a 26% assist rate. Siakam's at 25%. Scotty Barnes is at 20%. Do I have the assist rate in team metrics charts? Let's see. I do. The Raptors are the 4th lowest team in assist percentage. So a lot of their shots are ISO basketball, right? And that's annoying. But 6.5 is a low enough number. Does Anunoby really move the needle like that to convert? Like, I don't think it's that different between. I guess offensively, Pirtle's there, but like I said, like I don't know. I'll go look at the market though. Miguel, if you get that feeling in your bad knee, don't let old gun get you off of that. We'll do a couple of splits, I guess. But from a DFS standpoint, I think there is upside in McCollum and Ingram individually. But there's also just like that more realistic outcome where it's just everyone's giving you 40, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but is that super nuts optimal have to have? Also maybe not. But stocking stuff around FanDuel looks like the more reasonable approach for me, with the emphasis or the priority being Brandon Ingram. On the Raptor side, same thing with VanVleet. 8,200, 40 plus fantasy point is a reasonable range of outcome there. The almost 10K price point on DraftKings, I'm probably not getting to that at all. Siakam's also kind of intriguing. We'll also see the splits with Pirtle in now, because Pirtle's price point on DraftKings gives us an opportunity at being $1,600 less than his FanDuel price point. So yeah, what was I doing? I was doing something. Oh, we're looking at the shopper for assist on VanVleet, right? So 6.5. So it does look like 6.5 is going to. Wait, what is BR? Whatever that book is, they're charging you an arm and a leg for the over, but no one else is. But it's still at minus 130. So if you're on the 6.5, Miguel, I would say you should probably get action on that now, because it looks like there's a good chance it could move to 7 sooner than later. So if that is something you're on, and I understand why you're there, I just have trust issues. But the man should play 40 minutes. Let's go look at on-off court tool. Toronto, other side here. As long as Triple J can play off of Embiid, I think he can get there. If Memphis does a lot of switching, it's going to be a long night for him. Yeah, Embiid will hook some of those block attempts, right? All right, let's go VanVleet. Let's put VanVleet, Siakam, and then Pirtle, just to get a little bit of a taste of what the metrics are. And is it for sure that Anunoby is starting? Like, I think obviously he's going to be a starter eventually, but like, he's been out for so long. Are they gonna sling him directly back into the starting lineup? Because it is different, right? Jakob Poeltl wasn't on the team last time, and they were playing Siakam at the 5. It says shouldn't face any conditioning concerns. All right, we'll see. I think they do want Trent off the bench, but this is a team that like doesn't use their bench, so I don't know. Let's go back to the. So VanVleet, Siakam, Pirtle. We got 50 minutes of sample size. In this sample size, VanVleet 42% assist rate, Siakam 35, and then Pirtle 1.2 fantasy point per minute on a 19% usage rate. So no sample size on any of that, just giving us a starting point of what we might expect. So I guess I would lean the over just simply because he's going to play a bunch of minutes, but that's probably not something I'm going to get attached to. But if you are on the over there, the line potentially moves soon because of the juice here. And then do we want anything on like Siakam for Pirtle. I don't think I do. I think the front court for the Pelicans is hard to trust, but the $5,900 price point on Pirtle is very nice. A little bit of room for upside, I think. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna pair with pull points and 80 rebounds. All right, cool. Gary and now Pirtle. Yeah, okay. For DFS, if I'm cherry picking, I'm probably gonna tier 3. Call them. I'll start tier 3 on Ingram on FanDuel. Potential for tier 2, but he probably doesn't move forward. Same thing with Van Vliet. I think their FanDuel prices give us some value. If I got to none of these guys on DraftKings, I maybe don't lose sleep. But I think there's room for potential on FanDuel. Even Siakam, almost $1,000 price discrepancy between FanDuel and DraftKings. And for a guy like Siakam, 1.5 implied stocks here. You're gonna get that extra scoring over there for the stock. So I do like the FanDuel prices for most of this game more so than DraftKings, except when it comes to Jakob Poeltl, who is a better bargain on DraftKings, I think. So move on to the Spurs and Mavericks. Project 35 for the Spurs: Malachi Branham, Keita Bates, Yap, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Zach Collins taking on Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Dwight Powell. 239.5 total. A 14-point spread. 14-point spread. The San Antonio Spurs, the worst team in basketball by all accounts. A 120 defensive rating. Their offense is offensive. It's bad. So what do you guys want to do here? We feel like Luka is this max price Luka with a high usage shooting guard on the team with perhaps no fourth quarter implied here. It's an interesting top 2 guys on the slate price wise, where we have Luka 14-point spread versus like a Jokic and a 2-point spread, but in a really slow pace, tough defense. Like if you had to choose between the two in a util spot, where are you going? I don't think there's, obviously that's a hypothetical, no right or wrong answers. I'm just kind of curious, man. How do you guys want to approach this game? Now that we have a couple more games here of Luka and Kyrie together, we can get official numbers. I know Kyrie's had a couple of crazy fourth quarters or overtime periods that have really kind of, I don't want to say inflated, but got him there late. And maybe the lack of fourth quarter here, maybe I'm down. 27% usage overall, 34.6% usage for Luka, 1.3 plus fantasy point per minute on both sides. Kyrie's got a higher assist rate right now than Luka. Again, just 57 minutes. I don't know that I expect that to be the norm. But what I do know is I'm probably not playing anyone else from this team. So yeah, what do the boards have these guys at, I guess? We'll start with points on Kyrie. Actually, we don't. I don't know that I'm gonna get behind either one of these. So let's just go Dallas props. Kyrie is at 6 assists, 25.5 points. Luka's at 32.5 points, 8 assists. Sure. I guess for prop betting, if we wanted to get some action here, I'd probably be a little bit more likely to get into first half stuff or first quarter stuff. Is Luka still playing like the entire first quarter? Let's see. Luka entire first quarter. Luka entire first quarter. So for PrizePicks, when they drop the first quarter prop, I guess I would, in the interest of sweating it over, and we don't have first quarter up yet, right? I don't know if we had to do rough guesstimate on what Luka would be. I guess I would just divide the full fantasy by 4, which is 55.5. So I'd probably get some. I'll write it down, but Luka first quarter fantasy. Like, that seems like the safest way to approach this spot without getting fully invested in the blowout risk. So we'll take first quarter Luka prop if it's reasonable. It could be like 18.5, honestly. But hopefully it's a little bit more modest. I doubt it, but it could be. All right. Anything with the Spurs? I guess because of the scoreboard, like, you can make a case that in 100K to first type tournaments, 4,400 Devontae Graham could just chuck at will in the fourth quarter. I think we saw that was against Cleveland, maybe. Cleveland, 29 minutes, 29 fantasy points. Like, maybe there's a world where that, like, means something here at 4,400, but it's a deep field play only for me. I don't really have a reason to be here. Zach Collins at 5,600, sure, get some sprinkle of that, projecting really, really well. And Jeremy Sohan, I think he's closer to in, right? I think we read that he was gonna play. Let's go to Dallas. Yeah, I just think he's in. Maybe Sohan, maybe not. Questionable against that through the left quad soreness. All right. We had underdog. Questionable. All right, Sohan's questionable. So I guess if Sohan didn't play, it could do things where Kellen Johnson gets moved around, Keita Bates-Diop as well. But I don't think they care. Like, they're just gonna throw bodies out there at this point in the season for them. So no need to overthink it. Collins fantasy points on PrizePicks. All right, what is that? 28.5. I mean, yeah, the projection loves him. My guys like him are always busting the projection. I don't know what it is, but sure. 40, 31. His per minute production is pretty nutty with it. If we get him chilling around this near 30-minute playing time, right? Stay out of foul trouble. It's just easier said than done. 30 minutes should usually mean 35 plus fantasy points. So to get him at 28.5, yeah, there's some wiggle room there. So it's a lean. We'll put it down here at the bottom. Zach Collins over 28.5 FPS. But I dig it. Sohan looks like Dennis Rodman. No. You know who I think Sohan looks like? And this might be, I don't know. I'm old, guys. Or he reminds me. I guess he doesn't look like him, but there was a rapper when I was a kid, or an artist when I was a kid named Cisco. You guys might remember the Thong song. Unleash the Dragon. That's who I think of when I see pictures of him in that hair. Let's see. Do we have... I guess he doesn't really look like him. I just see colored hair, and I think of Cisco. So whenever I see pictures of Sohan on like thumbnails and stuff, I think of Cisco. Vicky, thank you so much for the follow, the sub. Excuse me. OKC against the Utah Jazz. Drew Hill projects 25 for OKC. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams up against Jordan Clarkson, Akbaji, Larry Markkinen, Kelly Olynyk, and Walker Kessler. He doesn't match his... Okay. You see it. All right. It's just... I guess it's just the hair. A 240 total, 1-point spread. In favor of the visiting Thunder. Wow. So yeah, that's a pretty juicy total. You want to get behind. The front court for the Thunder is still predictably unpredictable. I guess without Mike Muscala, like, there's one less trolley thing that could happen, but it's still one of those situations where they often just have different front courts starting the second half. But we can kind of lean on I guess a little bit more. Now with Lou Dort back, and Jalen Williams has been pretty rock steady. I guess it's really just the center spot that scares me. But hey, a 240 total, 1 point spread. That bodes really well for SGA and his 31 points per game this season. What can we get for a point prop? 49.5 fantasy points, 31.5 real points. So yeah, I get it. I understand it. And then what about Josh Giddey PRA? What's that looking like over on PrizePicks? 30.5 PRA with 7 boards, 6 assists. That's intriguing. All right, those guys are definitely in the DFS blender for me. On the Jazz side, Colin Sexton out. Jordan Clarkson, life without Mike Conley continues. Russell Westbrook takes a buyout. I kind of want to get into some Jordan Clarkson trouble. 6,400 on FanDuel makes a lot of sense here. Projecting for 40 plus fantasy points. Lauri Markkanen at 8,300 makes a lot of sense here. $1,000 cheaper than DraftKings price point. Projecting for 40 plus fantasy points. Kessler looks a little bit better on DraftKings than FanDuel, just based on price point. So I guess let's look at what can we get into for some Clarkson stuff. What are you guys thinking prop wise here? I think for DFS, most of this starting lineup is at least in the tier 3s. I think Clarkson and SGA get to tier 2 for me. Maybe Clarkson has a chance for tier 1 at that price point though. Let's put Clarkson on, and then let's take off Mike Conley. Sohan, Cisco. Oh man, have we done this? Is this my fault? Let's take Conley and Sexton off. Sohan says to Geppetto, "What am I gonna be, a real boy?" I'm a real boy. That's more like Mickey Mouse. I'm a real boy. That's more like me. Yeah. What am I doing with my life? 35% usage rate on Jordan Clarkson, 31% assist rate. What does that mean? What does it all mean, Basil? We're gonna have to play THT, aren't we? I hate it here. Utah. 34.5 fantasy points. I like that. I'm at 40 plus. Points is at 23.5. The assist is at 5. So the assist seems, based on 31% assist rate, the assist at 5 seems very reasonable. Let's see if the market agrees or disagrees. What happened? Okay, so Sexton got hurt in the last game, right? How did that look like for rotations? Take the under on all Clarkson procs. Vic, what are we doing here, bro? 35 minutes. And when Sexton went down, let's see, end of the first quarter, 1 assist. Second quarter, 1 assist. No assist there. Third quarter, 2 assists. I'm kind of thinking assist. So what's the market? Oh, fudge. 4.5 was the line when it got moved up to 5. I still kind of like it. Like, it's still kind of the same bet, but not. Like, we could still push at that. Push it. Do we have Clarkson over here? Clarkson. Rebounds, steals. No. Drive's a little bit harder to navigate. I would still probably take the 5 assists. Probably. Let's go to props. Clarkson. I'm at 5.5. So closer to 6, right? We're rounding up. I kind of like Clarkson 5 assists. I wish I had a more... I'd probably say it's probably my favorite one so far. Jordan Clarkson over 5 assists. What up, Squatch? Bigfoot is real? Maybe. Do we get THC props? 15.5 points. He's at a higher assist prop than... Alright, now we need to see if there's negative impact here. Let's put Clarkson and Tucker on the court together. It's probably like no minutes here, but... I guess if... So they seem to like Akbaji more than THT, is the impression I get. He does have a 28% assist rate, but on the court together, Clarkson still is at 32%. So that's not... I'm not getting spooked off of this Clarkson line. Let's see. Rotation. They went 3 guard set to close out that Grizzlies game, right? With Olynyk. And Kessler. Oh, Marketing didn't play that game. All right, so from what it seems like, it seems like Akbaji is in front of THT. And this is one of those things where we all, like, the world loves THT because he's so freaking productive when he does get run. But I do think there's a lot of volatility in what he actually plays today. So if he's not in the starting lineup and Akbaji is, we might be a little point chasey off of this Grizzlies game without Marketing, right? Like he probably doesn't close. I guess he could, but he like over Akbaji, but it seems like they prefer Akbaji. And if that's the case, I'm rock steady with the Clarkson. I'm sticking with Clarkson. Assist, that is. And then for 6,400 on FanDuel, it's just too cheap. Kelly Oler or Jeremy Grant? Probably Jeremy Grant today. If the plane gets there in time without Anthony Simons in a nutty matchup, probably that. Gunn versus Brunson Reed, just saying, fan match, maybe. You know what match y'all will get? If you guys know who Sam Stackhouse is, I think I'm gonna crash collision course with him. So we like big men fighting big men. Who's is Brunson Reed? Is that Brodus Clay or is that somebody else? Let me pour some water. Sorry. What's Markkinen's stuff at? Lowry, 44.5 fantasy points, 38.5 point PRA. All right, cool. Vic, why are we on the under on Clarkson stuff? Bronson is someone else? Oh, okay. I don't know who that is then. Bronson Reed? Is he in the WWE? Oh, that's a big boy. I'm bigger, but that's a big boy. Sheesh. Clay couldn't wrestle that good. I can't wrestle that good. I'm just big. All right, Lakers hosting the Warriors. Projects 35 for the Warriors. Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Dante DiVincenzo, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney taking on D. Russ, Malik Beasley, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis. We got 238.5 total, 6-point spread. Favor of the home team, LA Lakers. So 8.3K for Poole. That kind of jumps out at me. Draymond under 7K is very intriguing. 4,400 on Looney's also something that I don't hate. I was in on a Looney rebound prop the other night that went pretty well, but this is a tougher. I don't know. no Wiggins still. So we'll see if that changes anything with the midcourt here. I know we do get overexcited as a community to play Jonathan Kuminga. And LeBron and AD both have tags, but I think they're both expected to play. So we get another taste of what this Lakers team should look like. Yeah, they're both probable. But we also have to deal with, is everyone inefficiently priced for being fully healthy? You know what I mean? Like D-Russ is only 6,500. That's intriguing. But sharing the court with Beasley, with LeBron, with AD, I guess we just stagger LeBron and AD exposure. I think that's what I would do. How often on a 9-gamer are they going to coincide for optimal ceiling that you have to have? So I'll probably just do that. Pick one or the other. Because the projection is really nice on both of them, 50+ fantasy points. D-Russ is the intriguing one for me. But I guess there's really not sample size for much here to go off of. We can just read the tea leaves from recent games, though. To really chalk today, meaning Clarkson. Un momento por favor. Taylor Horton Tucker's chalk on DraftKings. Fading him burns me way more than it should lately. And Clarkson is chalk on FanDuel, but that price on FanDuel, like it's pretty hard to push back on, you know. So in that last outing, I guess we have enough sample size of this. I don't say enough, but I can get some numbers back on this Lakers team. So let's go Lakers. Let's go. Let's go since February. I don't know, 13th. And then let's put LeBron on the court. D-Russ against his old team. All right, 1.3 fantasy point per minute for LeBron, 1.5 for AD. D-Russ is at 1.3. D-Russ has a 41.7% assist rate in that split. But it's only 16 minutes. So I think that's not enough to be actionable on the season. You know, going back to Minnesota, D-Russ is a guy offering a 27% assist rate. Is there like a 4.5 assist prop out there, or is he 5.5, 6.5? 6. Jeez. It is a fast-paced, high-scoring matchup. Schroeder, Beasley. Am I under projecting his minutes here at 29? Should I be at like 34? D-Russ played 27 minutes, probably left, what is this, 3 minutes on the table, so would have been 30 minutes there. In this one, 27 minutes, that was without LeBron though. D-Russ played 35 minutes. And that was also without LeBron. So in the one game with LeBron, he probably plays 30 minutes. And I'm at 29. But it is potentially a small ball spot where Jared Vanderbilt could maybe get moved off, you know? So maybe there's some wiggle room for a D-Russ 35-minute range of outcome. Okay. I like Russell with Davis tonight. LeBron will get his. Yeah, 7K is a lot for D-Russ. Yeah, I think the DraftKings price is a little bit more intriguing. Maybe fall into a double-double bonus. So is it D'Angelo Russell's birthday? Let's go. All right, the Warriors. So you guys somebody mentioned Jordan Poole points as a prop they're attacking tonight. So I guess we'll look at what they're offering. DiVincenzo 25 fantasy points. Draymond Green 7 assists. Look at this. He's getting a triple single. Jordan Poole 38.5. That seems low. That seems really low. What do I have him for? 44. Eh. Five assists for Jordan Poole. Here we go with this again, right? Maybe it's I feel like it's the Clarkson thing where people think of him as a ball hog, but he's really a guy that can facilitate as well. So let's put Draymond, Jordan Poole. Let's take off Curry. I feel like he's at like a 28% assist rate. I could be wrong. Let's go full season sample size, and then maybe we'll isolate the time frame a little bit more. CW has some breaking news. Is it gonna play? I know it had a late. It was gonna leave late, but I don't think it was officially postponed. Like, if it does, like, it's very possible. But the once the plane leaves the ground, right? Like, it's not that far from via flight from Portland to Sacramento, right? But it's very possible. So Jordan Poole has a 27% assist rate, which is higher than Draymond's in this particular split. I guess we could take Wiggins off as well. And they always juice up Draymond's assists. And usually we can get Jordan Poole cheaper, and we have him at 5 right now. I feel like I'm going to make bad decisions here. All right, we dropped it down to 25% without Wiggins. 34% usage. But, like, Draymond is still higher than Draymond. So I get in this predicament so often. But I could see the argument that he'll need to score more. But 5 assists seems like... it seems too low, man. I think we've done this search before. I feel like he's missed his assist prop like at 5 like 2 or 3 times without Curry in his last whatever. Jordan Poole assist by game log without Steph Curry. Let's go last 20 games. And remember, there's a lot of games here without Clay. With 5 being the magic number. And this is stuff from like Christmas of this. Oh, that's I guess that's this season. Last 10 is a little bit more encouraging. There's a 2 and a 4. 4 came in just 30 minutes. You might play 38 here. The 2 came in 41 minutes against a top defense. That's whatever. And then we go to December 28th. And then now we might be dealing with a no Clay team. Let's see, Golden State. Yeah, there was no Klay Thompson. He's playing with Anthony Lamb and. All right, I'm leaning the over at 5. Oh, fudge! I accidentally closed the odds shopper. Name shooting his way out the plane. Let's go. It is kind of crazy that they had a 9-day break or whatever it was. And like no one checked the weather report, like they had to last minute leave. Jordan Poole assist 5.5. Oh, it's already moved to 5.5. Right? Am I tripping, or do we have it at 5? We have it at 5. So if you like 5, if it hasn't moved already, it's going to. And even at 5.5, oh, that's plus money. Actually, it got moved down to 5. All right. So I went 5.5 and it got moved down to 5. Which I'm on the over, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong to be opposite the field here. Right? It's a super pace up spot. I get the only pushback I could see is that like what's Wiggins is 17 points a game, so like that is a scorer that converts assists. So like I could see you could make the case that he needs to score more and not pass as much. So I guess that makes sense. That's all I got, man. Everything else is pushing me towards him having like 5 assists, man. Like, Yo, what up, KJ? What is a realistic ceiling for Wiseman if he starts? Trying to determine if wasting a center spot is worth it. Let's see, Detroit. I guess 30 wouldn't be a crazy number at 3,500. So if he 10x that price, like that value would be hard to push back against. They did say that he could start, right? So, and with Bagley doubtful, like this might be our only chance for the time being. And we don't want to overreact to the Celtics game. I think 25 to 30, and I think even at 25, like if he offered you 25, right now I got him at 26. Like that's gonna land a lot at 3,500. So yeah, you'll probably have to govern that with a stringent exposure level because it'll likely give you as much as you cap it at, you know. Only playing if he's starting. That's fair. All right, I think I'm just gonna go with my gut on the pool situation here, but I don't know. I've been in this conundrum a few times. I think 5 is pushable no matter what, but I don't know what am I missing? All right, let me make this look a little prettier. With 5 being the magic number, we missed that twice. So it just seems like it happens more often than not. And now you put them in it's just the fastest implied game on the slate. Like so many possessions, you know? Yeah, the too fast. What am I missing? Anyway, we got 1 game left on the docket. All right, let's do some plugs here. First of all, No House Advantage. Shout out to them. We're making a lot of money over there. Right before the break, they have a special prop deal today. Ja Morant, half a point. He makes 1 point, 1 bucket. That one hits. So you can go ahead and get you cranked up with a bankroll booster. And put Ja Morant, pair it with something, and move on from there. I also love the fact that you can like 21x a 5-pick card, and I've been killing them with the 21x's, bro. Let's see, in the free Discord right here. Before the break, we did, and I think I got limited to $25, by the way, but I'm not sure. We did LeBron, Ja Morant. Well, we were killing him before the break. Another one, $525. So here's one for $1,000. So, been crushing it over there. I have noticed it feels like more props open up right before lock. I wish they would be more robust in selections this far out. But it's a very good site to play on still. I do like their app. The aesthetics of their app is way more, friendly to the eye for me. So go check them out. But No House Advantage, PrizePicks, Thrive. Every one of these sites offer you the first deposit bonus up to $100 just by using code GUNDACKER. So if you're looking for an ability to shop different props, I would recommend that. Because in some spots you're going to get a better line on a player on one site versus like PrizePicks versus Underdog. So being able to find value between the different sites is very important. Also, after the stream, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord voice chat. That'll be in about 25 minutes. So if you guys want to be part of that, go grab yourself maybe a week pass, try it out. All of our passes come with a Fantasy Cruncher credit, all the way up to $150 credit for the year pass, $100 credit to lock in until the baseball all-star break. You know the drill, all that good stuff. Let's get back to the spreadsheet. Let's get caught up on chat as well. the books know everything. They do, but the last 2 times I've been in this situation, I still went with Jordan Poole and won it. Like, took it, you know? But, like, anytime that happens, though, like, I don't assume that I'm smarter than the books. I'm just like, man, what am I seeing that or what am I not seeing? You know what I'm saying? But there's been several cases where I'm on the right side. Like, I've seen a couple times in the last 2 weeks, I've had reverse line movement, I guess, on like Trae Young assists, Chris Paul assists, where stuff's moving down, and I'm just like, why? They're both 40% assist rates, and I take the over and it hits. So I don't assume that I'm smarter than the books, but I always like to figure out what, you know, what they're seeing and I'm not seeing. The last one I remember that was a little squirrely was Tyrese Halliburton. The market was steaming his under, and I was like, what? It's Tyrese Halliburton. And then TJ McConnell started, and I was like, okay. Okay, makes sense. What are you gonna do? What's up, Brad? What up, Steve? Who's your value on FanDuel tonight? Let's go to the raw projections. I haven't messed with projections in like 3 hours. Top value play, Jeremy Grant, 6,100. If that game plays, Kuminga's always projecting well. Don't really get a lot of 4K guys. You mentioned James Wiseman earlier. I wish he was forward eligible to get into him. I guess Shaden Sharp, we'll talk about that game. I guess we'll jump into it now. But with Anthony Simons down, he could put up a usable scoreline. All right, let's get into the main event. So we'll preface this main event by saying the Trailblazers plane got stuck in Portland because of a snowstorm. And when I went live, I think we said that the plane hadn't even left yet. So hopefully we'll have developing news. Blazers still haven't left Portland due to weather issues, hoping to depart within the hour. So if they haven't left, there's a real chance this game doesn't happen. So we'll see. But assuming it does happen, project starting 5 for the Blazers: Damian Lillard, Shaden Sharp, Matisse Thybulle, Jeremy Grant, Drew Eubanks, taking on De'Aaron Fox, Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, and Domantas Sabonis. A 241.5 total, 6.5 point spread paired with the home team, Sacramento Kings. And this is stuff from before like that news became public. So I do want to see if there's like any type of reaction from the market based on that. It's like, oh my god, they're gonna have jet lag. They're gonna be all hitting their unders. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Or taking the spread moving a little bit. 6.5, 242. No. I guess the total went up a little bit, but still pretty linear to what we had. And then Anthony Simons is hurt, so add him and Nurkic to the out list here. We do get Jeremy Grant back, so assuming that scheme happens, I feel like we're gonna be super interested in Damian Lillard, and of course, DFS being what it is, Lillard could be the top scorer on this entire slate, and we're dealing with, does that game play at 4 p.m. Let's put Jeremy Grant and Dame Dollar on the court. Let's take off Nurkic. Let's take off Simons. I probably don't mess around too much with the tertiary guys, supplementary guys. I guess we have to take out Josh Hart. He's a lot of minutes. What up, CT? I appreciate that, Brad. Portland is, that's what I'm saying. Portland's not that far, but I guess there is a biological element from getting off a plane and playing basketball. So like, I don't want to assume something here. That's not, what do I know? In this split, it's Damian Lillard and everybody else. But Jeremy Grant is the next man up. Bro, no one else even gets to 20% usage. Like Keon Johnson, but that's 5 minutes. That's pretty incredible. But it's very, very small sample size, but that's pretty incredible. But Jeremy Grant would be the guy I'd be most intrigued with behind Lillard. But Shaden Sharp's price is clickable, I guess. But Damian Lillard might have to drop 60 real points here to keep this game competitive. From a fantasy perspective, projecting well, Drew Eubanks, Jeremy Grant, Shaden Sharp. Sharp looks a little bit more intriguing to me on DraftKings. 11.4K for Damian Lillard on DraftKings as well. And we'll see where the market's at on Dame. Dame is starting to get some like historic prop numbers. Like he might have the highest single game player prop for real points before the end of this year. He might be at 35 or 36 already, right? Let's see. He's at 35. Yeah, 35 and a half. And that's just top shelf stuff, right? We don't want to sweat 35 and a half. But I get it. I do. Playing him for DFS for sure. On the King side, Fox and Sabonis, really clean sheet for injury, so nothing to really key in on especially. But Fox and Sabonis make sense. I think Sabonis is a little bit more intriguing to me for fantasy upside, 50 plus fantasy points. Center position is Joel Embiid, Jokic, and then I guess AD center only on DraftKings as well. So center is pretty deep. You got a lot of the big boys for center tonight in terms of slate breaking scores, and there's a couple value options as well. So I think center might be the key to this slate when it's all said and done, making the right choice. Jokic, uphill battle on the road. Embiid at home, 2-point spread. AD with a healthy LeBron that can go any which way. So I think they all are really, really viable. And let's see, I guess we'll look at projection versus ownership to have a super strong stance here, but let's see, let's go center only. 55, 54.8, 52.4, and 49.8. So they're all within 5 fantasy points of each other in terms of projection. The plane is taking off. Bro, this is crazy. We're getting live. Blazers team plane is now taking off to Sacramento. We'll continue to update. Wait, isn't that doxing? I'm just kidding. With this, sometimes in DFS, the craziest stuff happens, like roof leaks and just random stuff that is so goofy. And here we are as a community tracking an airplane. No, it's so much fun. Dame is out. Wow. All right. Well, that's gonna move. So the Blazers might fall to like 10-point dogs. Dame unlikely to play, but he's the thumbnail. Come on, Portland. All right. Well, that makes Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant, well, we just got the chalk, basically. Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Grant, Cam Reddish. Fudge, man. F this slate. This slate just got flipped. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's annoying. So Jeremy Grant earlier this year without Damian Lillard, you remember that stretch where it was like him and Simons? He was dropping 20 plus real points per game. Like there's no way all that stuff's still on the board, right? Portland. It is on the board. It's Jeremy Grant. You guys would want to go take. He's at 22 and a half. That's already kind of steamed. Thought it was going to be like 18 and a half, to be honest. Let's put Blazers. Cam Reddish, 11 points. Well, I would go take all these overs, I guess. No, Shaden Sharp and Jeremy Grant are the two most intriguing, but Jeremy Grant real points is probably right. So just take his fantasy. That's crazy. The timing. Impeccable. Grant's out too? Y'all killing me with this. I'm just going to hit. Jesus. Oh my God, bro. All right, so Portland tanking. No, and PrizePicks just pulled the whole game off the board. All right, well, the last 2 hours. So we're Shaden Sharp is your absolute lock of the day. Like, he's about to play 38 minutes, have to score 25. Cam Reddish is unfortunately gonna have to be played. You're just stacking Blazers. The Blazers might come back at like 12-point dogs, but you still have to stack them, right? This is like where the Celtics were super dogs against the Bucks the other night. Fire up Malik Monk. Oh, for the Kings? Yeah. Keon Johnson is another guy. We'll see what this looks like. But yeah, those are the big boys. And we'll see if they add more to the list. Yo, what are they just on the plane calling in their report here? It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Okay. So for DFS though, we starting lineups with Shaden Sharp, probably Drew Eubanks. Unfortunately, probably some Cam Reddish. We're value stacking Blazers, filling in the blanks, but that's fine because I didn't love the value that we had anyway. But Shaden Sharp is the guy I think that. Yeah. So bonus triple double lock if the game is close. Mopar, I don't know that this game is going to be. It's going to be hard to project this game close. Like, one thing that people sleep on with Sacramento is they're like the best offense in basketball, rating wise, right? They have the second best offensive rating, and the Blazers are up there as well. But that's like, I would imagine without Damian Lillard, Anthony Simons, and Jeremy Grant, they're like bottom 5 in offensive efficiency. I don't even know if I can quantify that, but I guess we could just do. I mean, we could just look at like, I don't know, StatMuse offensive rating, Blazers offensive rating without Damian Lillard this season. But I guess again that's not fair because of Simons. So 112, that's actually like decent, but I can't do them all, right? It's just using common sense here, guys. I can't really see a way that this game stays close. So, like, to the bank on a triple-double for Sabonis, a little bit ambitious. But no matter what the spread is, you're going to have to play the Blazers value. All right. I got to get you guys out of here. That was a fun 10 minutes. What's tomorrow looking like? NBA schedule. Big Friday night or nah? I know they played the Clippers tomorrow, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 game slate tomorrow. Pretty decent. So we'll be back same time. Same time. You guys got anything else for me? Any questions, comments, concerns? You guys want to hit that thumbs up? Are we close to 100? 65? That'd be kind of cool if we get to 100. I don't think we will. I dare you. This would never happen in Jordan's era. Stop it. Stop it, Des. Stop it. Community chat is on fire to say. Yeah. I'm not one of those bettors that feel entitled to whatever. But it is kind of crazy that they had 9 days off or whatever it was. And the weather report wasn't accurate. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one thought to leave yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, why did they wait till today? Is Jabari Walker in play? So I would love to maybe get a lean on who's all actually active tonight for the Blazers. And then once we do, I feel like everyone's in play that we think could get 20 plus minutes, right? So I don't think I would be like too enamored. I think I would lean on the guys that I know can score. Shaden Sharp, Drew Eubanks, we know for fantasy has had a role. Let's see, Portland, Jabari Walker. Because it doesn't mean everyone's going to play 30 minutes and can't miss, right? Jabari Walker. Looks like he's really low in the totem pole. But Shaedon Sharpe seems like he was already in a good spot without Simons. And now Shaedon Sharpe might be one of those 38-minute guys tonight, you know? Cam Reddish, 30-plus minutes for him, probably coming. So I'd probably start lineups with Shaedon Sharpe, Cam Reddish, Drew Eubanks. Go from there. Even Matisse Thybulle, a guy who historically is built into a defensive role. Like sometimes when teams are like this, like players play different than what we expect them to do. And maybe like that Lakers game, 14 real points. So maybe he might surprise us as well tonight. So it's just a very stackable team. Unfortunately, it's kind of crazy how that worked out, but it is what it is. They sat on a plane set. Oh yeah. I saw. You know what? You're right, Jim. I saw that video of Damian Lillard rapping on the plane yesterday. I don't know. Okay. What do I know? Why am I dogging somebody's whose job it is to make sure they leave and they didn't? Soft. They not. Oh, okay, it does. I don't know. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow. If you got anything else for me, twitter.com/Gundacker. Hit that thumbs up for me on your way out, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Tell somebody out there you love them. That's all I ask, because I definitely love you. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.